what's going on? Aaron here, Kite Paddle Surf. We're here at AWSI, here in the Slingshot booth. I'm here with Sam. He's going to go through some of the foil boards, twin tips, and some of the kite surfboards.
Yeah, great, thanks.
All right.
Hey guys, Sam Light here from Slingshot. Going to run you through our new foil range, starting off with the travel craft. And this foil board is designed to be as small as possible so you can fit it in your luggage and take it around the world with you. Super compact whilst featuring all our main key features. Moving on.
Lost the kite.
To the Hope Craft. Now this, everyone is very excited about the Hope Craft. It's a Fred Hope's Pro model. It's a lot stiffer, it has some carbon running through the centre of the board, and you really notice the stiffness of this board. It comes in one size, which is just 103, but it's my current favourite foil board, kite foil board. Moving on to the Dwarf Craft, this comes in 3 different sizes. You're going to have a bit more flex, it's a bit more forgiving than the Hope Craft. It comes in 100, 110 and 120 sizes as well. So this is one of our longer running foil boards, great for intermediate, right through advanced, and you've got 3 different sizes depending on your personal preference. Getting bigger, the Alien Air. Now this is the best beginner that take you right through intermediate. This is a great foil board. It's got a little bit more volume, helps get you out on the water for that early planing, early lifting. It also doubles up as a prone board. You could wing on it as well, but it's mainly for beginner intermediate kite foiling. Moving on to the Simulator Soft Top 5.2. Now this thing is an all-round beginner, prone, kite, wingboard. You can do everything on this board, and it's got a super soft EVA deck that makes it really forgiving. You know, you can chuck the family out on it, kids, everyone can have a go on it.
Yeah, that looks super good. That's really new because no one else is really doing that.
No,
which is super cool seeing that.
It's been in our range for a couple of years now, but it kind of like lies under the radar, you know, because it's sort of that all-round board that none of the team use, but it's a great board for the family to have, for everyone to have a go on, you know. This is my personal favourite for like learning to prone foil. I had some great sessions on this just because it's so forgiving, it's so big, got tons of buoyancy. But then you could kite it, you could wing it, you know. It's a really good all-round board. Girls board, the Luna. This is a V2 Luna. Comes in one size and is based off our Misfit shape. It's a little bit more stiffer than the regular Misfit for those smaller riders, and it's designed for lighter riders basically, but very forgiving all-round twin tip based on the Misfit platform. Moving on to the Crisis. This is actually one of my personal favourite boards, the Crisis. It comes in 137, 141 and 147. I really like the 137 for big air. It doesn't have a huge amount of bottom shape, but also it just has a great rocker line, great stiffness. It's one of our cheaper boards as well, yet it has loads of performance. Like actually the 137 is a great big air board, and the 141 kind of is great for all round, beginner, intermediate, but it's more of a price point board. But again, once you get like the rocker, the stiffness right, it's still a great twin tip. Personal favourite twin tip, the Formula. This is the V2. This is a favourite for the team. Tons of carbon, really stiff, loads of pop. My personal favourite big air board, and goes great with the fly straps as well. Our new like super lightweight fly strap, loads of feel. It's got a double concave, which is really smooth, drives through the water great, soft landings, and very poppy, lots of like rebound flex, so when you feel a huge amount of pop when you edge this board. That carbon is super lightweight, but also has a lot of like pop when you edge, so it gets you that extra height when you're trying to do big air or just free riding. You know, you feel that performance with it being so lightweight. It's supernatural. Now this is a super cool board, directional. It's got the 4 fins at the back. Oh, it's missing a fin, so excuse me, but it should have 4 fins at the back with these deep channels. It's really good fun in the waves, like you get that extra grip for boosting as well, like it's really fun for big air. It's a little bit heavier than a board like the Formula, but it's a completely different feel. You get more of a carvy feel where you can like slash the waves, do some jumps, some toe side riding. Really fun board. It's also slightly offset, the straps as well. So depending whether you're right or left foot forward, you can set it up, play around with it. I have one of these in the garage for those shore dump days. Like it's one of my favorites actually, for just those sessions where you just want to throw hacks, you know. Where I'm like a twin tip rider, like through and through, so I always like coming back to this board over a surfboard. So if you're like a twin tip rider that fancies hacking a few waves, then this is the board for you. Misfit, now this is the longest board running in our range. I think this is like V11 or V13 or something. Super good, all-round twin tip, beginner right through to advanced. It's going to have a bit more flex than the Formula, but again, super forgiving. The outline is designed not to spray, because it's one of our main things for beginners and intermediates is to not get sprayed in the face. So we've got a really forgiving outline. We get a little bit more flex. Coroid up in the top here, which reduces the swing weight. So it's also pretty lightweight, which moves me on to a super exciting board in our range, which is the Carbon Misfit, which is new this year. Which is basically the carbon version of the Misfit. You're going to get a lot lighter board with the carbon version. It's going to be a little stiffer, a bit snappier. It's going to have more pop. So if you're riding a Misfit and you want a little bit more performance, you want a bit more pop, then the Misfit Carbon is the board for you. It's going to be interesting to see whether our team ride the Formula or the Misfit, because these are our two highest performing twin tips. Slightly different outlines, different bottom shapes. You've still got the Coroid in the middle of this to keep the weight down, but you've got a single concave in the Misfit rather than the double concave in the Formula. So again, this is another really good board, one of my favourite boards in the range. The Glide, 151, 161. This is a great school board, really good for those light wind sessions. Can get anyone up and going in like 10 knots. Yeah. Such a good board for teaching people, yeah. I taught my dad on this board and it made such a difference. Like for maybe, we had a few sessions on like my regular twin tip on the Misfit and he wasn't quite getting up and going, and I put him on a Glide and he was up cruising.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Especially for bigger guys, maybe in hot countries such as the Caribbean, Hatteras, places where the air's like not very dense, you're going to get a lot of power out of this board. Like there's so much volume getting up out of the water really easily.
Yeah.
Last, we've got two more left. We've got a big range. The Asylum, which is another board that's been in the range for a while. This is a freestyle board, free ride, does cross over into big air as well. A little bit, it's probably our heaviest board, but it's our stiffest, most robust board. You know, if you want to throw like crazy handle passes like Carlos Mario, or even do big air. But it is also a great free ride board as well. If you want a board that feels very solid under your feet, it's got the most rocker out of all of our boards. So
Rips Chopper.
Rips Chopper, yeah. I really like this feel of the board, and I also like the toe and heel edge channels. These channels provide a lot of grip and a lot of drive. So for doing big air, actually, I did big air on the Asylum for a number of years before we had the Formula. For me, for like pure big air, the Formula has more performance, mostly to do with the weight. But if I want to take heavier landings, maybe land blind and wrapped and maybe unhook, then I'm going to take the Asylum. And for bindings, if you did want to put bindings on our board, this is the board that you'd ride. And last, we got one more, the Dream Rider.
This one's new.
Yeah, completely new in the range, really exciting. Center fins, huge amount of single concave. Check it out on the camera, you might get a little view of that. And this thing, each chop flies upwind. It's crazy because they come in pretty big sizes. It's like a 140, 150, 160. And I was using the 150 on our photo shoot and couldn't believe how good it was, how fast it was, and how it feels like a small board, even though you're riding a big board. So you're getting tons of power. So even in light wind, you're able to fly along. Probably can get the biggest upwind angle that you'll ever get of any of our twin tips on this. It just drives so much upwind, that big concave.
Is it narrower than the other ones? It's about the same.
The other twin tips, it's about the same, maybe slightly narrower. No, I think it is narrower. Yeah, a little bit narrower. Yeah, but the main feature is the very deep single concave in the middle that just has so much upwind drive. But yeah, it's also kind of loose when you're riding it flat too. So yeah, if you like other boards on the market such as the Mako, it's similar to that, something that's a bit different. Tons of upwind performance. Really fun boards. Now we've got some super exciting new shapes in the range, and it's also really cool that we've got Ben Wilson working with one of his favourite shapers, Al Emery, who's like a top, well-renowned surfboard shaper. So it's been amazing to have their input into these surfboards. So we've got 2 new shapes that they've worked on. The first one that we're going to look at is the Burner. Now this is your kind of all-round board. It's got a 5-fin setup. So this is the board that kind of gets you going out in the small onshore shot, but then can hold the performance right through until it gets big. But this is going to kind of be the board for everyone that wants to do a bit of everything, but very much wave orientated, you know. Moving forward onto the Impact, Ben Wilson said himself, this is the board he takes when cloud break is firing, you know. So you're going to take this board when it's a bit bigger, a bit faster, the waves are better. So if you're riding in some heavy big waves and you want the most performance out of your surfboard, then you want to look at the Impact. And last but not least, the Sci-Fly. Now the Sci-Flies are strapless freestyle board, quad setup, and yeah, still able to whack some waves with it. Like Ben says himself that he can still get up in the pocket and do some hacks, but also works great for our strapless guys like Jeremy and Pablo Amores. So but yeah, this is the V2 Sci-Fly, and it's been a team favourite, and yeah, with strapless being one of the bigger disciplines, yeah, it's a big favourite of the team.
Okay. Construction the same as last year?
Construction the same, yeah. The XR construction.
Okay.
So lightweight. Got the stringer running all the way through.
Okay. FCS2.
FCS, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
So that is the surfboard range. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks for watching. See you guys.
Cheers.